So for once we have a race on our hands where Max Verstappen is not sitting on pole. It is in fact Carlos Sainz. I reckon it's not even going to take a lap for Verstappen to lead. I think turn one, he'll make a move. Hopefully it sticks. Hopefully the Monza curse isn't real and they both crash out at turn one, because I definitely want to see an interesting race. Everything seems to be aligning for the Monza curse to be real. As it turns out, the P2 grid spot is not on the racing line and is actually the dirtier side of the track. So coming down into turn one, Max is not in an optimal position. We saw in the previous year that P3 cleared the P2 grid spot before reaching turn one even. So, wow, we have someone out. Tsunoda is out of the race on the formation lap already. That's such a shame for him. Oh well. Liam Lawson's still out there. I hope it's not a problem that's common to both cars. Cars are lined up once more, and the pit crews have returned to the pit lane. Okay, that's odd actually. The pit crews didn't return to the pit lane because the race was about to start. They were still in the pit lane because race control hadn't let them know that the start was aborted officially, allowing them back onto the grid to tend to the cars. So the mechanics have been allowed back onto the grid now, and they're just flooding back on track. Everyone's running to their cars to put on the tire blankets and cool the cool air through the intakes on the side pods. It was a very strange thing to witness. Yes, I've taken the time in between the aborted start and the restart to change back into team colors. Really hoping that Max takes the 10 consecutive wins and we can watch history as it's being written on track. It's going to be a few more minutes and then things will actually get back underway. The second formation lap is now underway, and we've seen one AlphaTauri go out this race during the formation lap. I hope we don't see any troubles with Lawson's AlphaTauri. Like Mercedes have got a little bit of a mixed strategy going on, with Hamilton running the hards and Russell running the mediums. They're the only ones that appear to be doing so. Yeah, I think Magnussen and Bottas are actually also running the hards as they approach the grid like real slowly. It's like they're all creeping to their grid slots. I mean, it's called the Temple of Speed, but this is a joke. Like, it's snail's pace. Let's go. Oh, wow. Max is keeping pace, swapping to the outside already. It's actually the better line. He holds on to second, which is nice. Very clean start so far. Let's see if it stays that way on lap one. I reckon they'll activate DRS soon, and then we'll see the DRS train chug along the track. But that is an insane single file of cars on track. Few moves happening. Looking at a replay of the start, it actually looks like Max is trying to be a little bit more cautious. I'm not surprised there, because if he taps one of the Ferraris out into the barrier on lap one, turn one, then he isn't guaranteed a safe exit from the venue this evening. DRS enabled. As we approach that first straight, it's going to be interesting. I was wrong about lap one, turn one, Max making the move and making it stick though. But I think now with DRS enabled, it's the next opportunity. Here we go. DRS open. Let's see how quickly he catches him. Gap is 0.7, 0.5. Oh, Carlos is sliding a bit. Carlos is definitely pushing. Ooh, Max makes a move, but he can't make it stick. He has to back out there. Again, I think he definitely doesn't want to cause any damage to Carlos's car nor his own, waiting for the driver in front to make a mistake, because that's the only way they'll actually be able to make a move and make it stick. The top three are certainly bunched up together, so any mistake is going to make them lose a position. Everything to be gained for Charles Leclerc, though. I think he's also just, waiting for the two cars in front to to mess up and then like swoop in like a vulture and then steal the place. Engine mode switch suggests that they're tuning it down, because I know you can't turn it up at any point in the race. So I hope that's not signaling an issue. Leclerc barely hanging on to DRS. Max is actually getting a little bit closer with only 4/10 separating him from Sainz. All of that attacking and defending is really gonna make their tires take a hit, and that works to the benefit of Charles Leclerc. But as I say that, he's dropped another 2/10 behind. So we saw a crazy overtake from Perez onto Russell. Sadly, it happened off track and they cut the chicane. But hey, you know, if you don't like the chicane, don't do the chicane. Max takes the lead as Carlos locks up and Max makes the move and it sticks. He's already a second clear nearly. Lap 15 out of 51, and Max is back to leading the race. Max is running a crazy gap already, and I think now actually the Ferraris are going to be fighting each other. I just hope they don't crash each other out. Imagine they did that on the home race. Perez has now overtaken Leclerc for third place, making it a double Red Bull for the podium if it stays this way, but he's also quickly catching Sainz with only a 2.2 second gap at the moment. Charles Leclerc is hunting down Perez, so we could have another battle on our hands. This is quite interesting. Only 6/10 splitting the two cars on lap 35. Sargent on the verge of scoring points. Well, he is 10 seconds behind Alonso, so even if he does catch up, he has to get the job done to score any. But if he doesn't, the rest of the season doesn't seem to favor Williams at all. So I feel like Nick de Vries beats him here because that guy's been out of a seat. So if this becomes a pointless season for Sargent, then yeah, that'll be really upsetting, considering he may as well have just gotten out of the car and ditched the season. But yeah, why would you, unless Helmut Marko tells you to. Speaking of superstitions, though, the Monza curse may be broken here. All right, Lando with the move. He cuts the chicane. I mean, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, right? Perez is so close to Sainz at the moment. I feel like this is an overtake that is imminent. Probably by the next DRS zone, if I'm honest. Max 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the field already, though, so there's no fighting for first at this point. No, really? Yeah, that front wing is broken. Yeah, there goes a point scoring opportunity for Piastri. I mean, McLaren were already not looking too good on this track, despite the recent good form that they've had across Spa and into Zandvoort. It's almost painful to watch how long these pit stops take when you have to replace more than just the tires. 10.2 seconds. Well, I guess that's about as fast as Ferrari were with their pit stop at Zandvoort, and they weren't adding extra components or sitting a penalty. So that's that's interesting. Yeah, this chicane really feels optional at this point. I don't know what to say. Maybe they should just cut the thing from the track, because so many drivers are just opting to take that secret tunnel. I feel like you do actually gain something, or it costs you less of your tires if you go through that route. So I think there is an advantage to be gained. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. So Hamilton actually ends up getting a penalty for that incident with Piastri, 5 seconds in total. Piastri did nothing wrong, apparently, if that's what they've decided to issue. The second after Perez complains on the radio to the team that Sainz isn't leaving a space, he manages to find some, makes the move, it sticks, and it's a Red Bull 1-2. For the time being, we've got 5 laps to go, 6 including the last. Oh, the battle is on between the two Ferraris. I really hope they don't take each other out, because it is really close right now. Hair-splittingly close. Wheel to wheel. Oh, a lock-up from Sainz. He still leads. But Leclerc is well within DRS range still as they hit the DRS zone. Piastri is looking to finish behind Lawson at this rate, so that's a real shame. I know the FIA deals out penalties based on the incident, regardless of consequence, but yeah, I feel like Oscar's been severely affected by what happened there. It's a shame, and hopefully he can come back strong next race, where maybe the car is actually suited to the track. We'll have to wait and see until we get to Singapore, but yeah, not much to play for him in this race. The fight between the two Ferraris is really intensifying now. There's very little keeping them apart, with I think about 4/10 separating both of them, and only 3 laps to go. Anything can happen still, but I really hope they keep it clean. All hell's gonna break loose if it doesn't stay clean with the Tifosi. It's looking like a podium for Sainz, or the biggest upset in Ferrari history. Leclerc ruins any chance of a Ferrari crash there with that lockup. Here we go. Max Verstappen for the 10th consecutive win. The Monza curse has been broken. He fakes it. 10 out of 10. How do you do it? It's nuts. I guess you have to be driving a Red Bull, though.